The blackness of space burned with fire. Huge alien ships moved like shadows, their dark metal shining against the stars. Lasers cut through the void, red and blue streaks crossing each other. Explosions lit up the sky like storms. Humanity had never fought such a battle before. Captain Amir stood on the command deck of the human warship HFY. His hands held the railing as the ship shook under enemy fire. Around him, crew members worked fast, pressing keys, shouting reports, and giving orders. "Shields at 30%, shouted Myra, the young officer at the control screen. Amir's eyes narrowed. "Hold steady. Aim all cannons on their left flank. Fire." The HFY roared as its weapons unleashed a storm of energy. Bright bolts struck an alien cruiser, tearing holes into its armor. The ship spun away, burning. But for every alien vessel that fell, two more appeared from the shadows. The enemy was countless. These were not just soldiers, they were the swarm, led by their feared ruler, the alien queen. She was said to command her people with a single thought. Rumors claimed she was more powerful than any weapon. No human had ever seen her and lived. But today was different. On the main screen of the HFY, a giant alien flagship appeared. It was larger than any ship Amir had seen, shaped like a dark crown with glowing veins across its surface. The crew fell silent as it came closer. Everyone knew what it was. "The Queen's ship," whispered Lena, the ship's scientist. Fear filled the air, but Amir did not let it show. "All ships, listen," he said into the comms. "This is our chance. If we take her, the swarm falls apart. Focus fire on the flagship." The human fleet answered. Smaller ships moved in formation, dodging blasts while firing their weapons. Explosions rattled space as missiles hit the alien crown ship. Yet the enemy returned fire with brutal strength. Several human ships were destroyed instantly. Inside the HFY, lights flickered. Smoke rose from broken wires. The crew fought to keep the ship alive. "They're targeting us," Myra shouted. "Good," Amir replied, his voice calm. "Let them." He had a plan. For weeks, he had studied the swarm's movements. He knew the Queen would never retreat. She would always stay at the center, commanding her children. If they could trap her ship, the swarm would break. "Divert all power to the engines," Amir ordered. "Prepare the net." The net was not a real net. It was a field of charged energy, designed to disrupt alien shields. No human had tested it in battle before. But Amir was ready to gamble. The HFY flew straight toward the massive flagship. The alien cannons opened fire, shaking the ship again and again. Hull plates cracked. Men and women shouted as sparks filled the room. Still Amir stood firm. "Closer," he said. "Captain, we won't survive another hit." Lena cried. "Closer," Amir repeated. At the last moment, just before a final blast could destroy them, Amir shouted, "Now! Release the net." A wave of brilliant light spread from the HFY. Energy burst outward, wrapping around the alien flagship like glowing chains. The enemy ship shuddered. Its shields flickered and collapsed. For the first time, the Queen's vessel was vulnerable. "Fire everything we have," Amir commanded. The fleet obeyed. Missiles, lasers, and torpedoes struck the massive ship. Its dark armor cracked. Flames burst across its surface. Still it fought, but now its weapons fired wildly, no longer in control. The alien swarm began to panic. Without the Queen's perfect commands, their ships moved without order. Humans struck them down one by one. "Status on the flagship?" Amir asked. "Severely damaged," Myra answered. "Engines offline. Life signs, still strong." Amir's heart pounded. The Queen lived. They had done the impossible. "Prepare boarding teams," he said. We're taking her alive. The crew looked at him in shock. No human leader had ever dared to capture the queen. Most wanted her dead. But Amir believed this was humanity's chance not just to win the battle, but to win the war. Moments later, armored soldiers boarded the crippled alien flagship. Inside its halls, strange glowing walls pulsed like living veins. The humans moved carefully, weapons ready. They passed through ruined chambers until they reached the central throne room. And there she was. The alien queen stood tall, her silver skin glowing faintly, her eyes burning like blue fire. A crown of living crystal wrapped around her head. Even weakened, she radiated power. She looked at the humans without fear. For a moment, silence filled the room. No one moved. No one breathed. Then Amir stepped forward, his weapon raised. "Sarath, Queen of the Swarm," he said firmly. "You are our prisoner." The queen tilted her head, almost amused. "Prisoner," she whispered, her voice echoing like 1,000 voices at once. But she did not fight. She raised her hand slowly and allowed herself to be bound by human restraints. Back on the Hope Fire, the news spread fast: the alien queen had been captured. Cheers rose across the human fleet. For the first time, hope filled their hearts. The swarm was broken. The war could end. But as Amir watched the queen in chains, a strange unease touched his thoughts. She did not look defeated. She did not look afraid. She looked as if she had been waiting for this moment. The great battle had ended, but the air on the warship Hope Fire was still heavy with smoke and tension. Many ships of the human fleet floated in ruins, their fires glowing against the endless black sky. Survivors spoke in whispers. None could believe what had just happened. The alien queen was alive, and she was their prisoner. Captain Amir stood outside the high-security chamber deep inside the Hope Fire. Guards in heavy armor lined the hall, their weapons ready. The chamber itself was made of reinforced steel and glowing energy locks, built for the most dangerous enemies. Yet Amir knew no prison had ever been tested against a being like her. "Is everything secure?" Amir asked. "Yes, Captain," replied Myra, her voice steady though her eyes showed doubt. "Triple energy fields, gravity binders, and shield doors. No one gets out without your order." Amir nodded. Still, unease lingered inside him. He had faced many battles, but never had he stood so close to the enemy who had nearly ended humanity. He gave the signal. The doors opened with a hiss. Inside, the chamber was dark except for faint blue lights. At the center, bound by chains of glowing metal, sat the alien queen. She did not look broken. Her silver skin still shimmered faintly. Her eyes, bright as stars, followed every movement with calm interest. Even in chains, she carried the presence of a ruler. When Amir stepped closer, she raised her head. "So," she said in a voice that seemed both soft and echoing, "this is the face of the one who dares capture me." Amir stood tall, refusing to show fear. "You are Sarath, Queen of the Swarm. Your people have destroyed worlds. Millions of humans are dead because of you. Do you have anything to say before justice is done?" The queen smiled faintly. It was not the smile of someone afraid. It was the smile of someone who still held secrets. "Justice? You speak as if you understand it. But your kind is young. You fight, but you do not see the truth of the stars." "Truth?" Amir frowned. "You're finished. That's the truth." For the first time, the queen lowered her gaze, as if showing weakness. Her voice softened. "No. Not finished. I could end you now, if I wished. But I will not. Instead, I will offer you something. Mercy." The guard stiffened at her words. Mercy? From the queen? It sounded like a trick. "What game are you playing?" Amir asked. "No game," Sarath replied. You have taken me in chains, yes. But I am not powerless. My gifts flow through me, and they can flow into others. I can give you strength no human has ever known. Healing. Energy beyond your machines. The power to command the stars themselves. Her words sent a shiver through the room. The guards exchanged uneasy looks. Even Amir felt the weight of her promise. He had heard legends of alien rulers wielding strange powers, but he never thought it could be real. Why would you give such power to us? Amir asked. We are your enemies. The queen's blue eyes glowed brighter. Because I do not wish to see my people vanish into dust. The swarm is broken. Without me, they will tear each other apart. If I must choose between extinction and survival, I choose survival. With you. With humans. Amir studied her carefully. Her voice was calm, her body still. She was not begging for her life like a defeated prisoner. Instead, she spoke like someone offering a deal. At that moment, Lena, the ship's scientist, entered the chamber. She carried a small scanner, its lights flickering. She had been listening outside. Captain, Lena said quietly, I've tested the energy around her. It's unlike anything I've seen. It reacts with our systems, but it doesn't match any known power source. She's not lying. She does have something. The queen tilted her head at Lena, a strange gentleness in her eyes. Yes. You can sense it, little one. The gift is real. I offer it freely if you will let me live. The guards muttered angrily. One of them spat, she should be executed now. We can't trust her lies. Another guard nodded. She destroyed colonies, slaughtered families. She wants to trick us. Amir raised a hand for silence. His thoughts were heavy. The council on Earth would want her death. Many soldiers would demand vengeance. And yet, if what she said was true, her power could change the future of humanity forever. The queen leaned forward as far as her chains allowed. Think, Captain. You humans are strong in will, but weak in body. Fragile. Short-lived. With my gifts, you will rise above the stars. Even the oldest empires will fear your name. You could save not only your people, but all who kneel to your command. Amir said nothing. His jaw tightened. Finally, he spoke, if we let you live, what stops you from turning against us the moment you are free? The queen's smile returned, soft and mysterious. Because for the first time in my life, I see something in your kind I have never seen before. And what is that? Amir asked. Defiance, she whispered. Other species kneel. You do not. That is why I offer you my gift. That is why I offer you my loyalty. Her words hung heavy in the chamber. No one spoke. No one moved. The hum of the energy locks was the only sound. At last, Amir turned and left the chamber. His mind was storming with doubt. Was this a chance to end the war forever or the greatest trap in history? Behind him, the queen sat calmly in her chains, her glowing eyes watching him go. She knew the humans would not be able to resist her offer for long. The Hope fire drifted quietly in space, its battle scars still glowing faintly. The human fleet circled around it, repairing ships and counting losses. Victory had been costly, but all eyes were fixed on one thing: the queen in chains. Inside the briefing room, Captain Amir sat with his officers. Myra stood by the screens, Lena carried her data pads, and Omar, a senior commander from another ship, leaned against the wall with crossed arms. The Council on Earth was already sending messages, demanding reports. Amir broke the silence. The Queen claims she can give us power. Strength, healing, energy. If it's true, it could change everything. Omar's face hardened. Or it could be the end of us. You saw her ships. You saw what she did to our worlds. Do you think a monster like that will just give us her strength? No, Captain. She wants to corrupt us, to control us. But what if she's telling the truth? Lena asked softly. Her eyes glowed with curiosity. I tested her energy in the chamber. It's real. I've never seen anything like it. It interacts with matter, almost like it's alive. If she can share it with us, she paused, searching for the right words. It could make us something more than human. Omar slammed his fist against the table. We don't need to become something else. We need to survive. And the safest way to do that is to end her before she tricks us. The room grew tense. Amir listened quietly, his hands folded. He respected Omar's caution, but Lena's excitement also rang true. The Queen was dangerous, yes, but she was also an opportunity humanity had never seen before. Finally, Amir stood. I will speak to her again. If her offer is real, we must at least understand it before deciding. The chamber was silent when Amir entered again. The Queen sat calmly, her chains glowing faintly. She looked up as if she had been waiting. You return, she said, her voice carrying an echo that filled the room. Have you decided to end me, or to listen? Amir stopped a few steps away. You said you could give us power. Show me what you mean. Her glowing eyes studied him. For a moment, she did not speak. Then she slowly raised her bound hands. Energy flickered at her fingertips, soft and blue, like living fire. It floated in the air, gentle but strong. This is my essence, she said. It flows through my kind. With it, I command, I heal, I endure. I can place fragments of it within others. Not all will survive the gift, but those who do will rise beyond what you call human. The guards shifted nervously, aiming their weapons, but Amir raised a hand. He wanted to hear more. The Queen continued, her voice soft and persuasive. You humans are strong in spirit. That is why you defeated me. Your bodies are fragile, your lives short. But if you accept my gift, you will live longer, fight harder, heal wounds in moments. You will see the stars as I see them. You will not just survive, you will rule. Amir felt a chill. Her words carried weight, not like a simple promise but like truth itself. Still, doubt burned inside him. Why us? He asked. Why not keep your gift for your own people? The Queen's expression shifted, almost sad. Because my people are broken. They were made to obey, not to question. Without me, they will devour each other until nothing remains. But you fight even when all hope is lost. You are not slaves. You are stubborn, defiant, alive. That is why I choose you. Her words filled the chamber with silence. Even the guards seemed frozen. Amir's thoughts raced. If her gift was real, humanity could stand against any empire in the galaxy. But what price would it demand? Lena entered with her scanner, eyes bright with curiosity. She bowed her head slightly to Amir. Captain, may I test it? Amir frowned. Test what? The fragment she offers, Lena said quickly. A small piece. I can measure it safely. If it kills me, you'll know it's poison. If it works, then we'll know it's real. No, Amir said firmly. It's too dangerous. But the Queen's smile widened. Brave little one, she whispered. You feel the truth, don't you? You know the stars are calling. Amir glared at her. Enough. No one touches your power until I decide. The Queen leaned back, her chains glowing softly. Decide quickly, Captain. Even now, my swarm gathers beyond the dark. They will come for me. When they arrive, you will need more than ships and courage. You will need me. You will need my gift. Her words struck Amir like a blade. She was right. The battle had been won, but only just. If the swarm returned in greater numbers, humanity would fall. As Amir left the chamber, he looked back one last time. The Queen's eyes followed him, calm and certain. She knew he could not ignore her offer forever. In the briefing room, Omar paced angrily. "Captain, this is madness. She's playing with us. We should execute her now, before she poisons our people with lies." Lena shook her head. "What if it's not a lie? What if she's giving us the key to survival?" Amir raised his hand, silencing them both. "Enough. We will not act in fear. Nor in haste. We will test her words carefully. If her gift is real, it may decide the fate of our species. If it's a trap, we'll stop it. But I will not throw away a chance like this." Omar's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. Lena's eyes shone with hope. And in her cell, the Queen sat quietly, a faint smile on her lips. She had planted the seed. Now, all she had to do was wait for it to grow. The chamber lights dimmed as the hope fire drifted through quiet space. Days had passed since the capture of the alien Queen, but the tension aboard the ship only grew. Rumors spread across the fleet. Some soldiers whispered that she would destroy them all from within. Others dreamed of the power she promised. Captain Amir sat alone in the command room, staring at a star chart. His mind was heavy. Reports showed alien scouts moving in distant sectors. The swarm had not vanished, they were waiting. And when they returned, humanity might not survive another battle. The door opened, and Lena entered, holding her data pad close. "Captain," she said softly, "I've been studying the energy I collected from the Queen. It's stable. Controlled. If someone were to receive it directly from her, it might work." Amir looked at her, his expression unreadable. "Or it might kill the person instantly." Lena nodded. "Yes. But if it works, we would know she speaks the truth." Silence filled the room. Amir thought of the council on Earth. They would demand her death, not her gift. They were far away, though. Here, the decision was his. At that moment, Omar entered, his boots heavy against the floor. His face was stern, his voice sharp. "Captain, I've heard enough of this nonsense. She is an enemy. A murderer. And yet you keep her alive? Every second she breathes is a danger to us." Amir rose from his chair. His voice was calm but firm. "Omar, if she truly has this gift, and we destroy her, we destroy the chance to save humanity. Do you not see the swarm waiting in the dark? Do you think ordinary weapons will protect us next time?" Omar clenched his fists. "You're blinded by her tricks. She wants to use us, nothing more. If you let her live, you'll doom us all." The two men stared at each other, the room thick with tension. Lena shifted nervously but said nothing. Finally, Amir spoke. "I will not decide in fear. If no one will take the risk, then I will." The next day, preparations began. The chamber where the Queen was kept was sealed and guarded more heavily than ever. Scientists set up scanners. Medical officers prepared emergency equipment. When Amir entered, the Queen lifted her head slowly. A faint smile touched her lips. "Ah," she whispered. "You have chosen." "I've chosen to test your words," Amir replied coldly. "No more games. If your gift is real, prove it. Give it to me." The guards gasped. Lena's eyes widened. "Captain, no, you can't risk yourself." But Amir shook his head. "I must. If I die, then she lied. If I live, then humanity gains a weapon greater than any fleet. Either way, we will know the truth." The Queen's glowing eyes fixed on him. "Brave," she said softly. "Very well. Step closer." The guards raised their weapons in panic, but Amir signaled them to stand down. Slowly, he walked forward until he stood before the bound Queen. She raised her chained hands, and a soft blue light flickered between her fingers. "Open your mind," she whispered. The energy flowed into Amir's chest. At once, his body stiffened. His vision blurred. Fire and lightning raced through his veins. He felt as though his very heart was burning. The guards shouted, moving to intervene, but Amir raised a trembling hand to stop them. He gasped as the light grew stronger. Pain cut through him, yet with the pain came strength. His heartbeat grew powerful, steady. His vision cleared, sharper than ever before. Every sound in the room became clear, every breath, every flicker of movement. Then, slowly, the light faded. Amir collapsed to his knees, breathing hard. The medical team rushed forward, but Amir lifted a hand. "I'm alive," he said, his voice shaking. The Queen smiled. "Not only alive. Changed." Amir stood. His body felt different, stronger, lighter. He clenched his fists and felt raw energy humming beneath his skin. He could sense the flow of power all around him, something no human had ever felt before. The room was silent. Everyone stared at him in awe. "It's real," Lena whispered. Her eyes shone with amazement. She wasn't lying. She really can share her power. But Omar's face darkened. "This is worse than I thought. Now she has touched our captain. How long before she controls him completely?" Amir turned to him, his voice steady. "I am still myself, Omar. She gave me power, yes, but my will is my own." Omar shook his head. "You say that now. But you don't know what she planted inside you. You're risking not just yourself, but all of us." The crew argued, voices clashing. Some shouted that the gift could save humanity. Others warned it was poison in disguise. The Queen sat quietly through it all, her eyes never leaving Amir. She did not need to speak. She knew the seed was planted. Finally, Amir raised his voice above the noise. "Enough. This is not a curse. It is a tool. And if more of us survive the transfer, then we will have the strength to face the swarm when they return." The room fell silent again. The Queen leaned forward, her voice soft but clear. "You see now, Captain. I do not lie. I offer you the future. Take it, and your people will never kneel to anyone again." Amir looked at her, his heart heavy. He had crossed the line. There was no turning back now. Humanity had begun its gamble with the Queen's gift. The ship Hopefire sailed in quiet space, but inside, nothing was calm. The story of Captain Amir receiving the Queen's gift had spread through the fleet like fire. Some celebrated, believing their leader was now stronger than ever. Others whispered in fear, saying the alien had cursed him. Amir himself felt the change each moment. His body was stronger, his senses sharper. He could see further, hear clearer, and even feel the soft pulse of energy in the walls around him. It was strange, almost frightening, but it also gave him hope. Still, he knew not everyone trusted him. In the meeting room, Omar stood with other officers. His voice was loud, sharp. "Do you not see what has happened? The Queen has touched our captain. She has put something inside him. How do we know he is still himself?" Myra crossed her arms. "I have served with Amir for years. I know his voice, his mind, his courage. He is still our captain." Omar shook his head. "No. He may think he is the same, but she is clever. She has planted seeds of control. Today it is a gift. Tomorrow it may be chains." Lena spoke quietly, holding her data pad. "I studied the energy. It does not look like mind control. It strengthens, yes, but it does not bind. Amir is still free." But Omar's anger burned. "You trust her too easily. You forget who she is. She destroyed our colonies, slaughtered families. Do you think such a queen would give us her power for nothing? The room filled with silence. Deep inside, many officers shared Omar's fear, even if they did not say it aloud. That night, Amir walked alone through the quiet halls of the ship. The lights flickered softly, the hum of engines steady. He could sense everything around him, the vibration of the walls, the faint heartbeat of guards standing far down the corridor. The Queen's gift had opened his senses to the ship itself. He entered the chamber where she was kept. The guards bowed their heads but looked nervous as he passed. Inside, the Queen sat calmly in her chains. Her eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. "You return again," she said softly, her voice echoing. "I need answers," Amir said firmly. "My people fear you. They fear what you've done to me. They believe you are trying to control me." The Queen tilted her head, almost amused. "Do you feel controlled, Captain?" Amir hesitated. The truth was no, he did not feel any command over his mind. His thoughts were his own, his choices free. But still, the fear lingered. "You gave me strength," he said. "But why? What do you gain from this?" Her eyes shone brighter. "I gain survival. Without me, my swarm will consume itself. Without me, you humans will be crushed when they return. If you are strong, if you rise, then I survive too. Our fates are tied, whether you wish it or not." Her words rang with truth. Amir wanted to deny them, but deep inside he knew she was right. Before he could speak, the ship shook violently. Alarms blared. The voice of Myra came through the COMM captain. "Enemy ships detected. A swarm detachment is here." Amir rushed to the control deck. On the screen, several alien vessels appeared, their lights glowing like angry eyes. They moved fast, surrounding the Hope Fire. "Shields up. Prepare for battle," Amir commanded. The ship roared to life, weapons firing. The first blasts shook the enemy, but more ships arrived, closing in like predators. The Hope Fire fought hard, but the crew knew this was only a small part of the swarm. The main force was still gathering somewhere in the dark. Amir felt the Queen's power inside him. His mind reacted faster than before. His commands came sharp and precise. The crew followed him with confidence, and for a moment, it seemed they could push back the enemy. But then Omar entered the deck, his face pale with anger. "Captain, this is proof. They come because of her. They will not stop until she is free. We must kill her now." Amir glared at him. "If we kill her, they will come in greater numbers, not less. She is the only one holding them back." Omar shook his head. "No. She is their queen. As long as she lives, they will never stop." He raised his weapon suddenly. The crew gasped. Omar was aiming not at Amir, but at the chamber controls on his wrist, the signal to release the Queen's chains remotely. "Better to end this madness now," Omar shouted. "I will not let her poison us." But before he could fire, Amir moved with speed no human had ever shown before. In a blink, he crossed the deck, his hand striking Omar's arm, sending the weapon spinning away. The crew stared in shock at Amir's impossible movement. Omar fell back, his face filled with both fear and fury. "You see," he shouted. "She has changed you. You are no longer human." Amir stood tall, his voice steady but burning with anger. "I am more human than ever, Omar. Because I fight for survival, for hope, for my people. If you cannot see that, then stand aside." The crew was silent. No one moved. The battle outside raged on, enemy ships firing again and again. But inside, the greater battle was clear, the fight to decide if the Queen was a curse or a salvation. And as the alarms echoed through the ship, the Queen's calm voice reached them through the comms. "Captain," she said softly, "if you want to save your fleet, let me guide you." Only I can show you how to turn my gift into victory. The crew turned to Amir, waiting. Trust her or reject her. The decision was his alone. The Hope fire shook as blasts from the alien swarm struck its shields. Sparks flew across the control deck. Crew members shouted over the alarms, their voices tied with fear. Outside, enemy ships circled like wolves, firing again and again. Shields at 20%. Myra cried, her hands rushing across the controls. We can't take much more. Amir stood in the center of the deck, his jaw hard. His new senses burned inside him. He could feel the flow of energy from the Queen's gift, urging him to act. But even with his sharpened mind, he knew the truth, they were outnumbered, and the fleet would not last. Then her voice came through the comms. Calm. Smooth. Certain. Captain Amir, the Queen said, her words echoing across the deck. Release me. Let me speak to them. I can stop this. The crew froze. Some turned pale. Omar, standing near the doors under guard after his earlier betrayal, shouted, You see? She wants freedom. She will destroy us all the moment we let her go. Amir raised a hand for silence. He looked at the main screen. More alien ships were arriving, their formation tightening. Soon, the Hope fire would be crushed. Explain, Amir said coldly into the COMM. The Queen's voice was soft but carried great weight. They fight for me, Captain. Their lives are tied to mine. If they hear my command, they will obey. Let me speak, and the battle ends without more death. Myra looked at Amir nervously. Captain, she may be telling the truth. If she really commands them, Omar cut in, his voice full of fury. And if she lies, we give her exactly what she wants. You'll hand her the whole fleet. The crew looked at Amir, waiting for his decision. His chest tightened. He thought of Earth, of the colonies, of every human life depending on what happened here. Was this the greatest trap in history or their only chance of survival? Finally, Amir spoke. We will give her a voice. But not her freedom. Open the chamber's comms only. She will speak from her chains. The guards rushed to carry out his order. A moment later, the chamber lights glowed on the main screen. The Queen sat in her restraints, silver skin shining softly. Her glowing eyes turned toward the camera, and when she spoke, her voice rolled like thunder across the stars. Children of the swarm, she said, her words echoing in the alien tongue. I am Sarath, your queen. I live. I command. And I order you now stand down. The alien ships outside faltered. Their movements slowed. Some pulled back, forming new patterns. On the screens, their glowing lights dimmed as if waiting. For the first time in hours, the swarm stopped firing. The human crew gasped. It was working. But then, a new sound cut through the silence, a different signal, sharper and wilder. On the edge of the screen, a faction of alien ships broke away. Instead of retreating, they moved forward, weapons charging. The Queen's eyes narrowed. Not all obey, she whispered. Some seek power for themselves. Without me free to stand beside you, they will never listen. Myra turned quickly. Captain, what do we do? Half their fleet is stopping, but the others. Amir's heart pounded. He knew this was the test. Trust her completely, or fight alone. He turned back to the screen. What will you do if I release you, Sarath? Her gaze locked on him. I will fight beside you. My voice and my power together will bring them to heel. With me, your people will live. Without me, they will burn. The deck went silent. Omar shouted from the back, Don't listen. It's a trick. The moment she is free, she'll destroy us. But Amir looked at the faces of his crew, Myra's fear, Lena's hope, the soldiers' exhaustion. They were all waiting for him. Slowly, Amir gave the order. Release her restraints. The guards hesitated. Omar roared, no. But the order was clear. The glowing chains around the queen dissolved. For a moment, silence filled the chamber. The queen rose slowly, her tall form glowing with faint blue light. She stretched her arms, and the energy around her pulsed like a heartbeat. On the deck, every human hand moved to their weapons. If she struck, they would fire without hesitation. But the queen did not strike. She placed her hand on the chamber wall, her voice flowing across the stars. Hear me, children. The humans are no longer our enemy. They are chosen. Any who raise their weapons now shall face me. Outside, the rogue alien ships wavered. Some turned back in fear. But others, defiant, opened fire. The hope fire shook again. Amir clenched his fists. If you are truly with us, then prove it now. The queen's eyes glowed brighter. She lifted her hands, and a surge of blue energy burst from the hope fire. It spread across the void like a wave, striking the rogue ships. Their weapons flickered, their engines failed, and one by one, they fell silent. The crew stared in awe. The queen lowered her arms, her body calm, her eyes glowing with quiet power. You see, Captain. I am with you. Your fight is my fight. Amir's chest was heavy. He had risked everything and she had proven her promise, at least for now. But he also knew the truth, the queen was no longer a prisoner. She was an ally. Or perhaps something far more dangerous. The battle outside the hope fire had ended. The rogue faction of the swarm lay silent, their ships powerless in the void. The remaining alien vessels, now fully obeying the Queen's command, formed an orderly line. For the first time, humanity saw the possibility of peace not as enemies, but as allies bound by necessity. Captain Amir stood on the command deck, feeling the pulse of the Queen's gift still flowing through him. His senses were sharper, his strength unmatched, yet he remained fully himself. The crew looked at him with awe and gratitude. Many had feared he might be lost to her power. But he had not been controlled, he had chosen to trust her. The Queen appeared on the main screen of the command deck, her presence calm and majestic. The swarm will follow your orders, Captain Amir. Together, we can end the war and build a future. Omar, still tense and skeptical, stepped forward. And if she turns on us? If this is a trick? Amir shook his head slowly. Then we fight. But she has proven herself. For now, she is our ally. And more than that, she is the only one who can save us from complete destruction. Myra nodded, relief flooding her face. We've been given a chance few humans ever imagined. The Queen's voice was soft yet filled with power. You humans have courage. You did not surrender when all seemed lost. That is why I chose you. That is why my power flows to you. In the weeks that followed, humanity worked alongside the Queen. She taught them how to use the gift she had shared with Amir. Soldiers learned to harness energy to protect themselves, heal wounds, and enhance their abilities. Engineers studied the alien technology she revealed, blending it with human designs to create ships faster and stronger than ever before. The Queen, once feared across galaxies, became a guide. She never demanded loyalty without reason, but her words carried weight, and her vision was clear. Humanity had grown stronger, not just with weapons, but in wisdom. One day, as the sun of a distant planet rose over a repaired colony, Amir stood beside Myra and Lena. They watched the horizon, feeling the warmth of light on their faces, a simple thing, but it felt like a miracle after so much darkness. Do you think she can be trusted? Myra asked quietly. Amir thought for a moment, then nodded. She saved us when no one else could. She gave humanity a choice, and we made it together. That is trust, in my eyes. Lena smiled softly. And the gift? It's still with you, Isn't it? Yes, Amir said, feeling the quiet hum of power within him. But it does not change who I am. It makes me stronger, yes, but it also reminds me what I am fighting for, my people, my home, and the future we choose to build. From the stars above, the alien fleet hovered like a protective shadow. The swarm was no longer a mindless horde. Under the Queen's guidance, they had learned discipline and restraint. Humanity had made allies where once there were only enemies. Omar, still cautious, approached Amir. I was wrong, he admitted. I thought she would destroy us. But I see now, she is a chance for something greater. Amir placed a hand on his shoulder. Sometimes the greatest victories come from choices we fear the most. The Queen's voice came from the calm once more. Captain, humanity has potential unlike any I have seen. Together, we can protect worlds, not just your own. But remember, power is a tool, not a weapon. The choices you make define the future. Amir nodded. I understand. And we will not fail. As the human fleet and the alien ships sailed together, the war that had consumed galaxies came to an end. Colonies were rebuilt. Lives lost were honored. Humanity's place among the stars was secured not through domination, but through courage, wisdom, and trust. And for the first time, humans looked at the stars and felt hope. Not fear. Not despair. But endless possibility. Captain Amir stood on the deck of the Hope Fire, the Queen's gift humming within him. Around him, his people moved with strength and determination. Above, the alien fleet shimmered like a living constellation. The galaxy had changed. Humanity had changed. And the Queen, once a symbol of terror, now stood beside them as a guide, a teacher, and a reminder that even the darkest of enemies can become allies when courage meets wisdom. The universe was vast, full of challenges yet unseen. But humanity, now stronger and wiser than ever, was ready. A new dawn had arrived. And this time, the future belonged to them.